Okay, so I have this tech deck, and I thought it would be kind of fun to customize it a little bit, maybe draw something on the bottom, and maybe make some other changes too, who knows? Yeah, so I really like Pikachu, so I thought it might be fun to draw a little Pikachu on the bottom. So the first thing that I did was kind of sketch it out on my computer, just so that I knew like what the dimensions would look like, and other things like that. Okay, so I'm by no means an artist, and this is definitely not a tutorial, but the first thing that I'm gonna do is kind of sand down the bottom, because it's super slippery and I just want to make it easier to work with. So I'm just using another tech deck to kind of score the bottom.
3 hours later.
So I have no idea if that did anything. Now what I'm gonna do is just paint the bottom white so that I have something to work with. I envisioned this being black and white. Shout out to my sister for the paint and the brush because I don't own any art supplies. Oh, fudge. That looks awful. And I spilled a little bit, but I tried to use as much paint as I could that was spilled on the table. So I think I'm just gonna wait for this to dry because I don't think I can really do anything else with it being wet because it just spreads the paint around instead of like layering it. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so it's been about 24 hours since I started painting the deck, and I think I ended up painting like 5 or 6 coats. I can still see like just a little bit of the old graphic, like just barely. Now all that's really left is to draw on it. On my left, I have my computer and it's got that sketch that I showed you earlier. I'm just gonna start by kind of practicing it on a piece of paper because, like I said before, I'm no artist. So I just wanna make sure that it doesn't look awful going onto the deck. Also, I feel like I keep saying that like I have no idea what I'm doing, but if you're seeing this video, I promise it means that it turns out okay. So that looks okay, I guess. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and start sketching on the actual deck. When I started sketching, I actually made grid lines as a reference because I noticed that Pikachu's proportions were looking a little funky when I drew it on the paper. After sketching with a pencil, I traced the lines with a fine sharpie pen and a chisel tip sharpie. Okay, so I finished the deck art. Honestly, it doesn't look that bad. You can kind of see a little bit that I think it either like bled or like I got it on my fingers and then I was touching the deck, but there's like kind of like some excess Sharpie, so it's a little ako taco, but it's okay. So now I just need to put trucks on this and then we'll be good to go. I have this like old tech deck longboard and the wheels are like a little bit grippier and the trucks are built so that they can turn easily as opposed to the really stiff trucks that tech deck usually has on these. So hopefully these trucks will fit on this. And boom, there we go, the hardware is on. It feels a little different just because the trucks, like the way the trucks are shaped, the wheels are a little bit further in than is like super comfortable, but I think I prefer having these trucks than just the regular tech deck trucks. So yeah, I guess now we gotta do a kickflip test. Okay, so now that we're done, a little debrief, I guess. So a couple things I would have done differently. One, I probably would have just sanded the graphic off instead of painting over it because one, it took me a really long time to paint over, and two, if any of the paint starts peeling off, just the whole thing is going to end up coming off. Secondly, I would probably be a little bit more mindful of like the Sharpie and where it's going just because I got this little like blue thing on the Pikachu face. And lastly, I don't know if I'm going to actually keep these trucks on here just because they feel a little weird. I don't know if I just need to get used to them, but yeah. Now I'll have a little session with this board.
Fight!
Okay, so I actually ended up changing the trucks to the regular tech deck trucks, but I took the bushings out of the longboard trucks and just put them on these trucks, so feels pretty good. Hopefully I will like